We're live from New Delhi, watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. New goods and services tax rates come into effect from today, marking a historical shift in the country's indirect taxation. Prime Minister Modi says GST savings festival begins on the first day of Navaratri. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit northeastern states of Arunachal Pradesh and Tripura, slew of developmental projects to be launched. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal to visit US to take forward trade deal talks. Gaza Palestinian state recognition set to dominate UN General Assembly summit starting today. 4 major nations support two-state solution, prompting a furious response from Israel. And in Asia Cup, India's dominance over Pakistan continues, beat the rivals by 6 wickets. Abhishek Sharma named man of the match. And on to the details now. Next generation GST reforms, or the simplified tax structure, comes into effect across India from today, bringing uniformity across food items with reduced number of tax slabs. The shift to a 2-slab system of 5% and 18% removes the earlier 12% and 28% slabs. Ahead of Sunday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his address to the nation remarked that now it is turn of the poor and the neo-middle class to benefit from next generation GST reforms. The Prime Minister term said the reforms would usher in a countrywide GST savings festival, will usher in a new spurt of economic growth.
Country is all set to adopt a simplified 2-tier tax system from September 22. Under next generation GST reform, a majority of goods and services will be taxed at 5% and 18%. In his address to the nation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi underscored that with lower GST rates, fulfilling personal dreams will become easier for citizens.
कल से देश में जीएसटी बचत उत्सव शुरू होने जा रहा है। इस जीएसटी बचत उत्सव में आपकी बचत बढ़ेगी और आप अपनी पसंद की चीजों को और ज्यादा आसानी से खरीद पाएंगे। हमारे देश के गरीब, मध्यम वर्गीय लोग, न्यू मिडिल क्लास, युवा, किसान, महिलाएं, दुकानदार, व्यापारी, उद्यमी, सभी को ये बचत उत्सव का बहुत फायदा होगा।
Prime Minister expressed high expectations from MSMEs and underscored their historic role as the backbone of India's economy.
विकसित भारत के लक्ष्य तक पहुंचने के लिए हमें आत्मनिर्भरता के रास्ते पर चलना ही होगा और भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बनाने का बहुत बड़ा दायित्व हमारे एमएसएमईज यानी हमारे लघु, मध्यम और कुटीर उद्योगों पर भी है, जो देश के लोगों की जरूरत का है, जो हम देश में ही बना सकते हैं, वो हमें देश में ही बनाना चाहिए।
Prime Minister called for every household to become a symbol of Swadeshi and every shop to be adorned with indigenous goods. PM encouraged citizens to proudly declare their commitment to Swadeshi, I buy Swadeshi, I sell Swadeshi, and stated that this mindset must become intrinsic to every citizen. He appealed to all state governments to actively support the Atmanirbhar Bharat and Swadeshi campaigns by boosting manufacturing in their regions with full energy and enthusiasm. Prime Minister noted that this year the government has gifted tax relief by making income up to 12 lakh rupees tax-free bringing a substantial ease and convenience to middle-class lives. Highlighting the importance of simplified tax system, Prime Minister called the GST reform adopted in 2017 as beginning of a new chapter in the country's economic history.
जब साल 2017 में भारत ने जीएसटी रिफॉर्म की तरफ कदम बढ़ाया था, तो एक पुराना इतिहास बदलने की और एक नया इतिहास रचने की शुरुआत हुई थी। दशकों तक हमारे देश की जनता, आप सभी लोग, देश के व्यापारी अलग अलग टैक्स के जाल में उलझे हुए थे। ऑक्ट्रॉय, एंट्री टैक्स, सेल टैक्स, एक्साइज, वेट, सर्विस टैक्स, न जाने भांति भांति के दर्जनों टैक्स हमारे देश में थे। एक शहर से दूसरे शहर माल भेजना हो तो न जाने कितने चेकपोस्ट पार करने होते थे।
Prime Minister also shared a personal memory from 2014 when he assumed office as Prime Minister, mentioning a striking example published in a foreign newspaper. The article described the challenges faced by a company that found it so difficult to send goods from Bengaluru to Hyderabad, a distance of just 570 kilometers, that it preferred to ship the goods from Bengaluru to Europe and then back to Hyderabad. On September 3, the GST Council in its 56th meeting had decided to reduce GST structure from 4 slabs, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28% to 2 main rates, 5% and 18%, along with a 40% special rate for sin or luxury goods. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Arunachal Pradesh and Tripura today. In Itanagar, Prime Minister will lay the foundation stone of 2 major hydropower projects worth over 3,700 crore rupees. The projects are aimed at harnessing the vast hydroelectric potential and promoting sustainable energy generation in the region. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone of a state-of-the-art convention centre at Tawang, located at over 9,820 feet in the frontier district of Tawang. The centre will serve as a landmark facility to host national and international conferences, cultural festivals and exhibitions. With the capacity to host over 1,500 delegates, the centre will meet global standards and support the tourism and cultural potential in the region. In line with his vision of ensuring ease of doing business and fostering a vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem, Prime Minister will also interact with local taxpayers, traders and industry representatives to discuss the impact of the recent GST rate rationalization. Well, in Tripura, Prime Minister will inaugurate the development work of Mata Tripura Sundari Temple Complex at Matabari. It is one of the ancient 51 Shakti Peeths located in Udaipur town of Gomati district. The complex will boost tourism, create employment and business opportunities and lead to overall socio-economic development of the region. Well, a high-level delegation led by Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal will visit the United States today to hold discussions on the India-US trade deal. The delegation aims to advance ongoing trade negotiations and works towards the early conclusion of a mutually beneficial trade agreement between the two countries. The discussions expected to be focused on strengthening bilateral trade, investment and economic cooperation across all sectors. Well, during the last visits of the team of officials from the Office of United States Trade Representative to India on the 16th of September, positive discussions were held on various aspects of the trade deal, and it was decided to intensify efforts in this regard. Also in line with Government of India's aim to end Naxalism by March 2026, a new forward operating base has been successfully established at Gundargudam in Bijapur district of Bastar region of Chhattisgarh. The secure forward military position has been established by 2nd Battalion, 150th Battalion and 203 Cobra CRPF in coordination with Chhattisgarh Police, overcoming adverse weather conditions. The camp is fortified with robust multi-layered security and equipped with essential amenities. With its establishment, security forces will now achieve deeper operational reach into the Naxal strongholds. Well, Bastar has seen one of the most violent operations, encounters and ambushes between the security forces and the Naxals for over 20 years now. It remains the epicenter of the Naxal combat. And thousands of fans and well-wishers showed up to pay their last respects to Zubeen Garg, the musical master and cultural icon of Assam. The cremation of legendary singer Zubeen Garg will be held on 23rd of September at a designated site in Sonapur, Guwahati. The decision was taken by Assam government in consultation with his family members. Early on Sunday, fans gathered in large number and paid their tributes to the departed soul. Well, Zubeen passed away in Singapore on Friday in what was first reported as a scuba diving accident. Reports later stated that he died while swimming in the sea without a life jacket. The singer was rushed to the hospital but was later declared dead. A post-mortem was conducted in Singapore before his body was handed over to India. And India today stands at the cusp of a scientific revolution, a revolution where space, science and technology are not just instruments of progress, but pillars of the national pride. At the forefront of this transformation is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, whose vision has placed technology at the heart of governance, development and India's global standing. From the moon to the sun, from quantum computing to vaccines, India's strides in the past decade have reshaped the way the world looks at us. Let's take a closer look at how Prime Minister Modi has led this remarkable journey, turning India into a hub of innovation, research and scientific excellence.
Nothing captures the imagination of a nation like its journey into space. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership, India has emerged as a global space power. Chandrayaan-3's historic landing on the moon's south pole in 2023 placed India in the record books as the first country to achieve this feat. The Aditya L1 solar mission is now studying the sun to better understand its impact on Earth's climate. This year, India crossed another milestone. Astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla became the first Indian to travel to the International Space Station through the Axiom mission. With the Indian Space Policy 2023, the private partnership through New Space India Limited, Prime Minister Modi has opened the gates of space to innovation, entrepreneurship and a bold new era.
जल्द ही आप सब वैज्ञानिकों की मेहनत से भारत गगनयान की उड़ान भी भरेगा और आने वाले समय में भारत अपना स्पेस स्टेशन भी बनाएगा। अभी हम मून और मार्स तक पहुंचे हैं। अब हमें गहरे अंतरिक्ष में उन हिस्सों में भी झोंकना है जहां मानवता के भविष्य के लिए कई जरूरी रहस्य छिपे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi has consistently stressed that research and innovation must drive national strength. In defense, India has built indigenous missile systems, drone counters, and next-generation surveillance tools. Strategic autonomy, once a distant dream, is today a national reality. In healthcare, India stunned the world with its rapid development of the indigenous COVID vaccine under Mission COVID Suraksha. The COVID digital platform became a model for the world, ensuring over 220 crore vaccine doses with efficiency and transparency. For Prime Minister Modi, technology is the front line of change. Under his vision, Digital India has become the backbone of governance and financial inclusion. UPI, DigiLocker, and Ayushman Bharat health account are not just platforms, they're everyday revolution transforming lives. The National Green Hydrogen Mission and the ultra mega solar power projects are rewriting India's energy future. By championing renewable energy, Prime Minister Modi has put India on course to become a global leader in the fight against climate change while achieving energy independence. PM Modi's vision has always placed research and development at the core. From the Deep Ocean Mission to LEGO India, India is pushing the boundaries of knowledge. The National Supercomputing Mission and advances in quantum technology are preparing the nation for the next frontier in science. Artificial intelligence initiatives like Airavat are driving breakthroughs in healthcare, agriculture, and governance. And in agriculture itself, digital livestock programs and the purple revolution of lavender cultivation in Jammu are proof that innovation is transforming even the grassroots of India's economy. From space to defense, from energy to agriculture, from quantum computing to AI, India's rise in science and technology has one common enabler: Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His call for Atmanirbhar Bharat has turned into a movement empowering scientists, entrepreneurs, and innovators across the nation. As India looks to the future, one message is clear. With science as the foundation and technology as the tool, PM Modi is steering India into a new age of innovation and global leadership. Bureau Report, DD India.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. In the United States, memorial held 11 days after Charlie Kirk's death. Thousands mourned at State Farm Stadium in Arizona. Mass protests erupt in Brazil against amnesty bill for Bolsonaro and lawmakers. And India shines at China Para Badminton International, bags 12 medals in Beijing, including 4 gold.
The biggest problems can often feel too complex to solve, beyond our capacity, or just impossible. But that is till we find a solution, and once we do, everything seems simpler.
This is the micro drip irrigation system, which in fact saves 60 to 70% of water while watering a tree.
We are looking for on the land today with the natural plants are around a third of a ton of nickel per hectare.
It is readily available. We can get it from the surrounding area, and the local farmers also benefit. If we use waste from their sugarcane crops, they get something out of it too.
By helping hedgehogs, I make a small attempt to compensate for the injustice in this world.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in New York to attend the 80th anniversary of the United Nations General Assembly. Today is expected to meet U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. According to the U.S. advisory, the meet is expected at 11 a.m. EST today. Well, the meeting would be the first one since Trump's 50% tariff imposition on India. Interestingly, the meeting comes on a day when India-US trade talks takes place in US. Meanwhile, at the start of UNGA 80 in New York, EAM Jaishankar met Secretary of Foreign Affairs of Philippines, Ma Teresa P. Lazaro. The two leaders followed up on the recent state visits of President Bongbong Marcos to India. They also discussed the cooperation in the UN and the Indo-Pacific region. And Britain, Canada and Australia announced formal recognition of the state of Palestine on Sunday in an attempt to pile pressure on Israel as it presses on with its campaign in Gaza. The decision by 4 nations from the West aligned them with more than 140 other countries also backing Palestinians' aspiration to forge an independent homeland from the occupied territories. Britain's decision carried particular symbolism given its major role in Israel's creation as a modern nation in the aftermath of World War II. Other nations, including France, are expected to follow suit this week at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu condemned the move. Hamas welcomed the move but said it must be accompanied by practical measures to end the conflict in Gaza and prevent Israel from annexing the West Bank. Well, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said recognition would help pave the way for the state of Palestine to live side by side with the state of Israel in security, peace and good neighborliness. Londoners voiced mixed reactions on Sunday. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has previously made clear he opposes such a move. And moving on, in the United States, the memorial was organized for Charlie Kirk after 11 days he was assassinated. It drew tens of thousands of mourners at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Some call Charlie Kirk a modern martyr. Others said his death was a pivotal moment for the U.S. Kirk, 31, was shot in the neck on September 10th while speaking at Utah University as part of his popular public debate series. Authorities arrested a suspect after a 33-hour manhunt. The memorial service for the slain conservative activist left little doubt that Kirk's death had elevated him to iconic status for the American right. The service drew an extraordinary level of attention, and some U.S. media are likening it to a state funeral. And tens of thousands of Brazilians took to the streets of major cities to protest legislative efforts to shield former President Jair Bolsonaro and federal lawmakers from the courts, marking the country's strongest leftist demonstrations in years. It was the first major demonstration since Bolsonaro's conviction this month, with numbers rivaling recent right-wing protests against his sentencing in major cities, driving home the stark divisions in one of the world's largest democracies. Well, also the Supreme Court's conviction of Bolsonaro and his co-conspirators in the government and armed forces marked the first time Brazil has punished military officers for attempting to overthrow democracy in a history stained by violent coups. Bolsonaro is under house arrest until he exhausts appeals of his 27-year prison sentence, but allies are already working to support him via political channels ranging from legislative amnesty to pardon from the next president. And on to some sports news now. India secured their 7th straight win over Pakistan across formats with a 6-wicket win at the T20 Asia Cup in Dubai. Abhishek Sharma's explosive 74 and Shubman Gill's 47 set the tone in a fiery clash marked by dropped catches and on-field tempers. Indian captain Suryakumar Yadav opted to field, putting Pakistan into bat. Opener Sahibzada Farhan rode his luck, dropped twice but went on to make a gritty 58. He guided Pakistan to 171 for 5 in the 20 overs. India's fielding wasn't at its best, dropping 4 catches. The chase, however, was pure dominance. Abhishek Sharma came out all guns blazing, hammering a breathtaking 74 off just 39 balls. Shubman Gill added 47 from 28 deliveries. The opening pair piled up a 105-run stand. Tilak Verma then applied the finishing touches, sealing a 6-wicket win for India. And India produced a stellar performance at the China Para Badminton International Tournament, clinching 12 medals in Beijing. Indian para shuttlers dominated across events, taking home 4 gold, 3 silver and 5 bronze medals in the Grade 2, Level 2 events. Tokyo Paralympic champion Pramod Bhagat made a triumph to return after serving an 18-month suspension to claim gold medal. Bhagat defeated Indonesia's Maal Imran 15-21, 21-19, 21-16 in the men's single SL3 final. He also paired with Sukant Kadam to secure a silver medal in men's doubles SL3, SL4. Meanwhile, Nithya Srisevan stunned a reigning Paris Paralympic medalist Li Fengmei of China to bag the women's single SH6 gold. And the 9-day Navaratri festival is being celebrated across India with great fervour on Monday as devotees thronged temples across the country to mark the beginning of the festival. Devotees offered prayers to Hindu goddess Durga in her 9 forms. Ma Shailputri, the first among the 9 divine forms of Ma Durga, is worshipped on the opening day of Navaratri. She is revered as the goddess of prosperity and regarded as the embodiment of Mother Nature, with devotees seeking her blessings for spiritual growth and awakening. The holy town of Katra echoed with devotional chants and vibrant energy this morning as devotees thronged the base camp on the first day of the Navaratri. Pilgrims carrying offering of flowers, coconuts and red chunneries moved in long processions towards the revered Shri Mata Vaishno Devi temple. Well, conservationists mark World Rhino Day today as a chance to celebrate achievements, acknowledge setbacks and renew commitment to the actions still needed. The day is not just about reflecting on the past, it's about looking ahead. Every rhino saved, every global trafficking ring dismantled and every extra space available for rhinos bring us closer to a future where they can thrive in the wild. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from Al Fasair in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.